Hey there, welcome back. So today we will check out more about arrays. So for doing so, first of all, we would be adding a new project. So I will navigate to file, click on new, and in here we will add in a new project. All right. So this would be a Java project. The name of the project could be like how to initialize array. We will click on next and we will keep everything as default and let's click on finish. All right. So here is our project. Let me traverse this project, and in here we have this src folder. So I will highlight this src folder, right click, navigate to new, and add in a new class. The name of the class would be like app, and the name of the package would be like org.studyeasy. So this seems to be good enough, and this class will also contain the main method. Let's click on finish. Alright, so this seems to be good enough. Alright, so let us get rid of this auto-generated stub, and in here, for example, I type in int variable equals maybe 5, and then definitely we can print this on our console. Alright, and if I execute the program, the output should be 5, which is no rocket science. Now friends, if we want a collection of int variable, this variable int variable is not capable of storing multiple entities, right? So let me try this out. If I try to store multiple entities in here, then definitely there would be an issue and Eclipse will start complaining. And the quick fix is change the type of int variable to int, and there are 2 brackets. Now what do we mean by this? This means array. So let me click on this quick fix. And as soon as we do this, the error is vanished and Eclipse has added these 2 brackets. These 2 brackets means that we are creating an array, and by default there are 2 elements inside this array. Now in here, if I directly try to print the variable, note that we are not accessing a specific element. There are multiple elements in this variable. Then what should be the output? This will give us some weird text, and this text is nothing but the memory location of this variable int variable, right? So let us get rid of this and let us proceed further and check a couple of more things. So first of all, we will create a reference of int variable. So this is how we create a reference. So in here we haven't allocated any memory, we are simply creating a reference, and inside this reference we can initialize variable. Now moving forward, we can type in, for example, int variable equals new int. Alright, and we need to also give the size of this array. Now the size of the array could be, for example, 10. So this array int variable will contain 10 integer type of variable. So this is cool. Let me add in yet another text, which is int variable array. This will symbolize this variable better. So this is cool. Now we have allocated 10 spaces in memory for keeping variable of int type, which is cool, but we haven't stored any information in here. How to store these? So again, this is very simple. So I will type in int variable array of maybe 5 equals 10 maybe, and then we can output the value, and the value would be 10 for this variable. Let me copy and paste it in here. Let me execute, and the output is 10, which is cool, right? Let me do one more thing. In here, I will copy this line of code and paste it in here, and we will try to store the information in 10th position, and the information would be like 99 maybe, and we will try to access the 10th position of this array, int variable array. Let me execute this, and here we go, and somehow we have an exception, right? And the exception is array index out of bound exception. Why here is an issue? Let me check. This is the line where we are getting the issue, and the issue is because we are trying to access the 10th element, and when it comes to programming language, when it comes to Java, the array index starts from 0. So if the size of an array is 10, then the last number or the last index number would be size of an array minus 1. So if I try to like initialize the value at index 9, then there should not be an issue. Let me execute the program and the error should vanish, and here is the output. So this is how we can like initialize and use the variable. Now this way is tricky. For example, if I try to access the variable at location 8, index location 8, then we haven't initialized the index location 8 somewhere, right? So we haven't initialized this. What should be the output? The output is 0, because by default all the elements would be initialized to 0, which isn't cool, and this way of programming is not cool either. So how we can like do stuff properly? Let me get rid of this, and in here we can do this smartly. So I will type in int and then pair of brackets, the name of the variable, and inside this pair of braces we can type in the values. So it could be like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Oops, where is 7? Somehow the cursor went down. Let me fix this real quick. 7, then we have 8, then we have 9, then we have 10 maybe. So there are 10 elements in this array, and we need not to define the size of this array, because Java will smartly count the number of elements we are trying to store, and it will accordingly allocate the memory space. So this is again cool, and we can definitely display the value. Let me show you. So if I try to display the value at 5th position, then what would be the output? Let me show you, and the output is 6, right? And the reason is pretty simple, because the index value starts from 0. So when we are accessing the index value 5, in actual it's the 6th position where we are referring to. So this is cool, and I suppose this is all about today's video, how we can like deal with arrays, how we can create a reference and then allocate memory, or how we can declare and define the array variable directly. So this is cool. In fact, there is one more thing. Let us create array of float type maybe. So I will type in float, and I will type in float variable array equals, and inside pair of braces we will type in, for example, 1.0f 2.0f, then let's type in 3.0, and as soon as we skip making use of this f, by default this would be a double entity, so definitely that would be an issue. So we need to type in f again, and then maybe 4.0f. so this seems to be good enough, and then we can simply type in the value of any of the variable. So it would be like float variable of position maybe 4. Now friends, understand this, that the index value would be int entity. It won't be a float entity for float array. It would be always a int entity, because the index value is showing you the exact position of the array. So index value of 4 will give us what? Let me show you. It will give us some issue, because it starts from 0 and we are accessing the actual position 5th, right? So there is no element in the 5th position, and this is the reason why we are getting this array index out of bound exception. So are you able to get this? Always remember that index value will start with 0, and this might be confusing couple of times, but don't worry, you will get this with time. And now the output should be 4.0. So this is cool, and this is all about today's video. I hope you get it, and if not, do try to practice this in your system and try to understand how we deal with array, because this is important, and unless and until you practice, you won't be getting this thoroughly. So practice is really important. Try to play around with array. In our next video we will try to check how we can play with array with reference to loops. So that is coming up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and take care.